this is going to be a good one because, I didn't get to grow up playing travel ball and all that because we didn't have the money for it. So let's see what this has turned into because I know it's a lot of dough. It's not cheap to raise kids these days, especially
Every
if they're
weekend,
good.
millions of dollars flow through these fields. But it's not just hot dogs and popcorn sales. These fields are actually a small part of a $40 billion illusion, one that has convinced 11% of parents to bet everything they have on their kid making it to the league.
Right.
But after spending 6 figures on their kid's athletic career, it rarely works out. So the question is, why do parents keep paying these insane costs knowing it's not going to work? And is Wall Street actually to blame for all of this?
Yeah, it's almost like this, rite of passage for a lot of people. Like growing up, one of my unks, he told me like if I wasn't playing travel ball, I wasn't like people were never going to notice me. I could only afford to play school ball, and that was, barely. Like, I don't know. Like, my parents didn't have a lot of money. They faked it until, we made it through, and, like, they're doing okay now. But, geez, man, it's not cheap to raise kids, especially if they want to play sports. And apparently that's the only way that you're going to be known. Like, you got to play AAU if you're playing basketball. Like, baseball, you got to be playing on a travel ball team. Soccer, good Lord, soccer and their tournaments. All the driving and just... now flying around, just, the invitationals and all that. It's absolutely absurd. I don't know how people can do it. Let's find out the numbers.
In 2004, families spent about $320 per year on their kids' sport. But fast forward to today, that number has more than tripled, currently sitting at $1,000
physicals and all that stuff too.
And that $1,000 is the cleaned up statistical average. In equipment alone, a family could easily spend over $1,000 for one kid. And then add in the new uniform you need every year, the private coaching, the travel, the team events, and you're easily looking at thousands of dollars in cost. But beyond the actual dollars coming out of their pockets, parents are also paying in other ways. Because when your calendar looks like this, you're giving up massive opportunity costs because you're having to spend all of your time driving to and from practice.
This is what I was saying the other day about that. The kid I was calling a scammer because he's totally a scammer. When you sit and become a slave to your calendar and time, you lose your life. It's not fun anymore. When you have a calendar packed like that, God, that's not freedom. It's not.
Studies even show that the average parent spends almost 3.5 hours per day tending to their child's sports program, which is equivalent to having a part-time job, but one you're actually paying for. But why do they do it? I understand that parents will do everything they can for their child, but there has to be a deeper reason, which is what led me down this rabbit hole of reading and watching interviews with these parents. And I started noticing a pattern. As these costs have gone higher and higher, parents just keep paying for it, even when they don't actually have the money to do it. But when you look around, there are affirmations everywhere that this is an investment in their child's future. The coaches and programs convince these parents that their kids have a high likelihood of playing in college and maybe even going pro, as long as they sign up for the next camp or private coaching session. But at the very least, if they just get a full ride to college, all of those long days and money spent.
Keyword there is if you get a full ride, which they ain't just passing them out these days, especially in the days of NIL. Things are completely different.
And on their training will be worth it. However, when you look at the numbers that the coaches are selling, it's actually a bit of a pipe dream. Look at Sam, for example. He's one of 15 players on his high school basketball team. He plays travel ball, goes to the extra trainings, goes to all of the tournaments, and lives and breathes basketball. But he doesn't have a 1 in 15 chance of playing in college. because there are over 10,000 high school seniors he's competing against. Even if he does make it to D1, only about 300 of them actually get a full ride scholarship. And the odds get even worse if Sam wants to go pro. Only 60 players per year get drafted by the NBA. And of those players, only a small fraction are left in the league after 3 years, which means there is less than a 0.01% chance Sam will ever play in a professional game. This isn't some hopeless reality that kids fall into on accident, though. It's a business model. Something else that has a high likelihood of not happening is finding a doctor that you actually like when you move to a new place. We recently moved to a new city and I've been looking for a dentist, but I've put off the actual looking phase for a while because I just don't have the time or the patience to be scrolling through all of these old, outdated doctor sites. Which is why I'm glad that today's video is sponsored by ZocDoc. As someone who loves to research and learn as much as possible about everything that I do, I fall into a lot of rabbit holes when it comes to my health. And if I wake up in the morning with a weird pain in my back or a headache that just won't go away, I will spend the entire day trying to figure out what's wrong. But the idea of finding a doctor, sitting on hold for hours, and then waiting weeks or months to actually see that doctor, only to find out that I actually don't like them at all, feels like a bit of a waste of time. But that's the beauty of today's sponsor, ZocDoc. It's a free website that helps you find and compare high-quality in-network doctors. And they have over 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Which means it doesn't matter if you're looking for a dentist, an eye doctor, or a dermatologist. They've got nearly every specialty covered. You can even search all of their providers by specialty or symptom to find exactly what you're looking for.
It's all right. I'm going to let him play his ad. It's all good.
Specialties offered on ZocDoc, and you can see which ones
fit
your insurance.
That's part of reaction. Like, if you want to be a real reactor, you don't skip it.
And making an appointment through ZocDoc is way easier than the old way.
Why do you think Asmongold gets so much credit for reacting to people's stuff?
Typically, appointments can be made within 24 to 72 hours of booking, and sometimes
hey, we can talk in here, yeah. It's all good. We don't need to listen to it.
Stop guessing and go to ZocDoc.com/GrantRudow or use the link in the description below to find the right doctor for you. Thank you again to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video.
It's almost done. Yeah, ZocDoc.
When you think of youth sports, you probably don't think of big business. But they're actually an investor's dream. More specifically, they are a private equity firm's dream. We all know the term private equity, but you might not know exactly what private equity does.
Dude, just think about how many jobs are provided to former athletes that weren't very good, but they're all like coaches now, or they work for all of these companies just coming up with like stuff to sell, like gloves and bats. And like, how does the bat technology change every year? It doesn't. You know, do you need a new basketball every year? No. You know, it's like a pair of good running shoes, you break it in, like, I don't know, I guess you might need a new pair every year. But, they just sell you a bunch of junk. And, like, I remember they used to sell those little necklaces that were supposed to make you, like, energetically healthier. There's no proven science behind that.
Other than destroy what you loved most about small businesses. From a high level, PE firms look at fragmented industries. They want thousands of small family-run operations that serve local communities. This could be family doctor's offices, plumbing companies, or youth sports leagues. The theory is PE firms can use their size and piggy bank to roll up these smaller operations into one big megacorp. They first look for pressure points in the business. These are the things they can immediately cut costs on or make more efficient. Then they buy everything in their path because their profit structure needs scale to succeed, which means they need to own the market. Which brings us to step 4 of their playbook. Now that they own the entire market, they control the game. In youth sports, this could look like limiting spots on teams, offering exclusive opportunities to certain groups, or adding premium coaching experiences that feel mandatory. Once they have the stage set, they can lay down the hammer. At this point, they'll continue raising prices and cutting costs, which usually means reducing their employee count, minimizing maintenance, and typically
that's the problem with American business. It's always a race to the bottom line. Quality goes down. You lose the important people that made the business run well. You know, like, you get taken for granted. It's all about making that almighty dollar. You're going to be real happy now.
But
yeah, you guys got to watch my ads along with yours. Sorry, I don't pay for the premium. But I'll turn this down. if you're lagging, like, that's not on me. It should be fine. I don't know what that's about. All my metrics look fine over here. What kind of internet do you have? I'm on that Starlink. This stuff is going up to the sky, all the way back down. Totally fine. I got multiple devices. I'm watching it. Yeah, I turned it down, though, you know? I'm doing it just for you. There you go. Oh, this is lovely, huh? There you go.
Alternatives at every turn. Once they've cut their costs so far, they turn their priority to revenue per participant, because they would much rather charge 100 families $20,000 per year through premium upgrades instead of 1,000 families $2,000 per year. In the background, groups like Unrivaled Sports and Varsity Brands have gone out and bought up thousands of youth sports assets around the country. And when you dig into who owns these umbrella companies, it starts to make a lot more sense. Unrivaled Sports is the parent company of Ripken Baseball, a premier baseball tournament company, as well as Cooperstown All-Star Village, and 13 other venues and sports complexes around the country. The majority owners of Unrivaled Sports, Josh Harris, who is one of the founding partners of Apollo Global Management, one of the largest asset management firms in the world, and David Blitzer, who is the chairman of Blackstone's Tactical Opportunity.
Blackstone. You guys don't know who Blackstone is? We're talking about some evil people, man. They own a little bit of every publicly traded company. When the banks need to borrow money, they borrow it from them. These people are crooked. Just look at them. Those are the kind of guys that are like, they'll smile in your face, but look at that insincere smile on the left. And then this guy on the right, he's not even hiding it. He's like, I don't really care. I'm taking your money, bro. These people.
Division. Yes.
America.
Blackstone. Another major player in the space is Varsity Brands. At one point, Varsity Brands controlled 90%
high school sports, youth sports,
of the cheer and
junior
dance
high,
events in the country, and 80% of all uniform sales. They own so much that they've been in 2 antitrust cases already, which settled for $82.5 million and $43.5 million for anti-competitive practices. And
see, that's the thing, is that these companies, they make like $1 billion and then the government comes in and fines them like $50 million. Wouldn't you do that every single day? It's ridiculous. These companies, they just get a little slap on the wrist, essentially. It's BS.
Behold, Varsity Brands has been sold through 4 private equity acquisitions, with their most recent sale being from Bain Capital to KKR, who is also one of the largest investment firms in the world. And these are just 2 of the major players in the space. And as these firms have gained more control over youth sports, they've also started to expand their footprint and create an entirely new economy within sports. And it's one that only pulls more money out of parents' wallets. This is Cooperstown.
Yeah, you can like look at it as a tax. It's not technically
baseball
tax.
Heaven.
I'm talking like the government will sue them for like malpractice, for taking advantage of consumers and just not being, righteous in their business practices, breaking laws. But instead of like totally slamming the company, shutting down the company, putting the people in jail, or, personally finding them liable, like, if you are a bartender and you overserve somebody and they kill somebody in a car accident, the bartender can be sued. But in these situations where they're like basically forcing people to take out a mortgage to send their kids to sports programs, like, they're taking advantage of people and they get a slap on the wrist. They pay $50 million to make $1 billion. So it's totally unfair. System needs to be reworked. But again, these people that are running these businesses, they're the ones in this country, that in this world, that own all of the money, own all of the assets, own all of the mining rights, own all of the drills that are pulling oil out of the earth. They own the entire supply chain and distribution networks. Like, they own everything.
For kids all over the country. It's always been an expensive trip for the average baseball family, but
own
after Unrivaled Sports
too.
acquired the complex in 2023, they've started shifting to a more premium experience. And with the premium experience comes premium prices. To attend a week-long baseball tournament at Cooperstown, every player is required to pay a $1,300 registration fee. And then every family will need to pay for their travel, food, and lodging while they're there. Over the course of one season, the Cooperstown complex will make over $15 million in registration fees alone. And it's estimated that $95 million in additional tourism is driven to the area during the summer. Tournaments like Cooperstown have become so expensive and require so much travel that these sports complexes are building up entire industries around them to support the families that are coming to watch their kids. The industry is getting so big now that a former baseball player turned construction developer is placing a $1 billion bet that this is just the beginning. Welcome to the Dynasty Ocoee, a 159-acre development that is set to revolutionize youth sports tourism. The Dynasty will have over 17 fields, 1,100 on-site hotel rooms, and 350,000 square feet of commercial space, where the whole family can come enjoy their time while one of the kids competes in a tournament. Jamie and Anne-Marie Douglas are betting that sports tourism won't just be orange slices and carpools, it will be an entire vacation experience that families will go to year after.
They're almost like getting rid of amateurism. Like they're making every level pro in a way. Like I wouldn't be surprised in 20 years if like even little leaguers, if they were, really standing out, they'd start getting paid. If they got a little superstar in the ranks.
All while some hockey families in Michigan are fighting a corporate takeover that's preventing them from filming their own kids' games. Black Bear Sports Group has all but monopolized hockey rinks in the United States. They own 40 different facilities and 60 sheets of ice across the Midwest and the East Coast. And parents have nowhere else to go to play hockey, so they're forced to use Black Bear-owned facilities. Those facilities charge a $50 registration and insurance fee on top of the fees you're already paying to use the space. And if you try to record your kid playing in their game, you'll be blacklisted from the arena, and your kid's team might even suffer because of it. But Black Bear is so...
What? Have you heard about that? You can't even record your kid playing? Do you guys know that? That's BS. No cameras allowed in the facility? What, do I have to buy it like I'm at Disneyland taking a picture? I just want to see my kid play, put it on a VHS and throw it in the VCR? Come on now, really? Dang, man. That's wild. I wonder if they got cameras watching each kid individually like parents. That's wild.
To offer Black Bear TV, where you can pay $25 to $50 a month to stream your kid's game. They say they do this for safety reasons, which I don't really buy. The Dallas Stars are another major corporation trying to take over youth hockey, and the Texas Attorney General recently opened a probe to investigate them. According to the report, the Stars used millions of dollars of taxpayer funding to buy up all of the rinks throughout DFW and eliminate their competition, and then raise prices, leaving families with no choice but to pay because there's nowhere else to go. But the Wall Street takeover isn't even the darkest part of the commercialization of youth sports. This is a high school game, and this is a Pee Wee game. But these are not the scores of the games. These are the betting odds. Yes, you can now place bets on 10-year-olds scoring touchdowns. But this didn't just pop up out of the blue. When sports were just a simple after-school activity, no one thought to open a betting line.
If professionals are fixing the markets,
some dads would throw
when they're getting paid millions of dollars,
but an online betting portal for a Pee Wee game that half the kids don't even know which way to run cannot be good for society. But that's what we get when we look to commercialize every last corner of these sports.
I appreciate that.
As the investment firms try to extract their maximum profit at every turn,
I'm just trying to be myself.
Changes the culture within sports. Right? They're no longer focused on character building or teaching teamwork. They are funnels into a fast track of spending and false promises of future success. And as the parents buy the bait that their kid could go pro, they throw everything they have into it. Their time, their money, their futures, all in the hopes that their kid will be the one that goes to college for free. Wall Street is basically brainwashing parents into thinking that their child will be the 1 in 10,000, all in order to build a $1 trillion industry off of their hopes and dreams and the kids are left with all the pressure to make that investment pay off. So, what do you think? Has the commercialization of youth sports gone too far, and are the costs getting to a point where people will just
Has it gone
stop
too far?
participating? Or
They're
is Wall
gambling
Street
on
just
children playing
optimizing
now.
their business model because they know people will pay the price anyway? I'd
It's
be curious to hear
definitely
your
too
thoughts in
far.
the comments, and while you're down there, make sure to subscribe
Wow.
so you don't miss the next one.
Yeah, you guys, go check out Grant Rudow. You can see it up there on the left if you can read through the little AI data center in the back. But yeah, throw him a like, throw him a sub. Hit me with that sub and that like if you can too. I'd appreciate it. Just help that algorithm. You know, I'm going to close this video down. I'm going to pop another one up. So if you want to jump into that, it's just easier for me to, yeah, like, well, yeah, why are we doing this with children and teens and stuff? Why are we gambling on them? You know, it's ridiculous. It's just not fair. Not fair to the kids. It's just like there's so many talented kids out there that don't have the money for all this travel ball and stuff too. Like, let alone like getting to the tryouts. Like some kids have trouble doing that. Let alone paying for a glove or some basketball shoes or whatever it might be. And like going to a lot of courts these days in certain parts of the country, super dangerous. Like, I don't know, man. You got to be really careful. And in the future, with the way that NIL is working with college sports, they're getting paid. It's crazy. They might start to eliminate a lot of these Olympic sports, or at least like take away their scholarships because the money's going towards football and basketball. Yeah, got a lot of growing pains ahead of us in the sport.